Alright, so this is the BETAFPV Pavo20 PRO, but now with the cage or the camera mount for the 04 Air Unit Pro, as you can see here. And I did a video already on how to build this. A lot of people ask me to make videos on how to install the 04 Air Unit and connect it. It's very easy. It should literally only take people about 10 minutes to do it. I will link that video in the video description if you want to take a look at that. And I have done the review on the Pavo20 PRO 2 times already. There was the original, and then there was the Nightfire edition, which you're seeing here with the 03 Air Unit installed. I will also link those videos in the description in case you missed those. I'm not going to cover those again. The frame, the specs, exactly the same, identical as far as I can tell. Same motors, 1104 7000 kV, same props, the 2.2 inch gem fan, tri-blade, same flight controller, 2 to 3S, I think they're 20 amp ESCs. Again, go watch that video if you want to see all the specs and everything. Frame, prop guard, motor, props, flight controller, everything's the same as the 2 previous versions, the Nightfire and the original. Obviously, the big difference on Nightfire is that I installed the special Nightfire LEDs on that limited edition version, which nobody can get anymore. It's been sold out for a long time, but that one, of course, is going to be a little bit heavier. This one here is 107 grams, and the one with the 03 Air Unit, the one from before this video, was a little over 106 grams, so pretty much about the same weight. And yeah, and this one comes with the full antennas, whereas the 03 Air Unit version came with a little whip antenna. So obviously, even though the 04 Pro has a much bigger camera, the overall setup here is, I think, a little bit lighter. And if you go and watch the original 04 review video from months ago, you'll see the actual weights and everything in there. But I wanted to show you real quick that it just mounts on the same way with the 4 screws. And of course, they designed this cage specifically for the 04 Air Unit Pro. Fits in there very nicely. Just have to sort of tuck the little antenna wires out of the way there. And the same USB port there for that plug. And then you got this camera tilt adjustable here. And at the 0 degree, someone asked me about the 0 degree when it's flat, will these prop guards show up? And they do in the far lower left and right corners. In the 4:3 view, in the 16:9 view, it doesn't show up. In the 4:3 view, in wide field of view, it does show up, and it does show up in ultra wide as well. However, once you take the recording, which is in 4:3 aspect ratio, and then you convert it to 16:9 and stabilize it in gyroflow, the prop guards don't show up. So if you're actually going to be using the footage for real work, then I wouldn't worry about the prop guards, because no one's going to actually use the 4:3 footage in any sort of professional setting. Of course, if those 2 little black prop guards in the far left and right corners and lower left and right corners bothers you a ton, of course, then I guess that's a deal breaker for you. But in terms of actual footage at this angle, it seems to be fine in my opinion. Once I did the gyroflow setting, standard gyroflow stuff, the prop guards were not visible anymore. And of course, the maximum camera angle, you just tilt it up like that. It's going to look like this, as you can see. That's why this little hood here is kind of, shaved back, so it doesn't show up in the view. And it's, I would say it's not quite 45. It's probably like maybe a little under 40, maybe at most 40 degrees. So it's got adequate. You're still going to be able to fly pretty fast. I think I flew mine something more conservative, more like this, and I still could go really fast. So you'll see that when I'm going to do a narrated flight footage for this one, because I already know that this is going to fly the same as the original one with the 03. It's just we're going to get slightly different footage with the 04. Again, I flew it with the same battery, the Lava Lipo 3S550, because the battery tray is the same, and you're going to get about the same amount of flight time, roughly 5 to 6 minutes, depending upon wind conditions and your flying style. That's about what you should expect. Now, I know people are going to ask me, is the cage by itself available separately? And the answer is, I don't know. I assume that it will be. I'm assuming that if you have the like say the Nightfire edition here, and you want to upgrade this to 04, the cages should be compatible. I didn't verify that, but as far as I can tell, the frames are exactly the same. I can't imagine that they would use a slightly different mount pattern. I'm pretty sure it's the same. Yeah, I guess I'll just have to shoot me now if I'm wrong, but pretty sure it'd be surprising that they would make a slightly different cage mount setup. It looks the same, at least just visually. But yeah, if you're wondering if you can get the cage and then mount an 04 and then put it on here, I imagine that is completely and should be totally possible. And I imagine that they will be selling the plastic cage here. Obviously, it's injection molded plastic, not 3D printed. Pretty sure that those will be available on the BETAFPV site. I don't have a link for it yet, and if you don't see it when this video is released, I will post it later. And I'm pretty sure it'll come in different colors, at least the black color, and then this charcoal sort of transparent gray color. That should also probably be, at least those will be made, I'm pretty sure, and possibly other colors, although they haven't given me any information so regarding that, so just a speculation on my part. But yeah, I think I should cover for this one here. You watch the flight footage with my narration. Bottom line is, if you're curious, basically it flies pretty much the same as the 03 version, just you get the 04 video quality and transmission on the 04 system. And it is a pretty windy day, so you can see here that in the footage that as I'm flying around in pretty windy conditions, it works out pretty well. So anyway, here's the narrated flight footage. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Talk to you guys in the next one. Alright, so I am recording in 1080 60 frames per second because someone asked me to post some footage of this, and I wasn't going to make a separate video, so I'm going to put in this one. We already know what the 04 Pro footage looks like in 4K 60. I've made many videos. Mainly want to see if we're going to get any jello. And I'm just here in the shade. I am in D-Log M. No jello. It feels exactly the same as the 03 version because the weight's about the same. And basically it's the same motors and flight controller and PID tune. Everything's the same as before. It's very windy right now. You guys can't see it really. It's windy. Look at this big branch here moving here in the wind, and it looks really stable so far. Let's go out into the sun here. And let's see how it looks. I'm not flying too aggressive here. Do some throttle pumps here. It looks okay. I don't see any vibrations coming through. The 04 Pro is less prone to jello because it's a heavier camera. Let's just do like some flips. No problem, working really well. So it looks like if we can do some aggressive flying here in wind, it seems to be holding up. It's very fast. Downwind now, it's going upwind here. You can see it's quite a bit slower. And yeah, I will have this color graded, of course, because it is in flat color profile here. And so far so good. It really just feels the same as when the 03 was on here. As I said, it's basically the same motors and frame and everything. It's just that we have an 04 Pro instead of an 03. So I don't really see any difference in flight characteristics. And handling, video is very nice, even though I'm only recording in 1080p. Well, I guess you guys can let me know if you see any noticeable drop in video quality in 1080p versus 4K. I'm sure it will be noticeable. But even in this wind, I have pretty good control. As you can see here, you can get right up to this tree. And yeah, it's a little bit better over here, but over where I am standing right here, it is really, look at that. I'm going downwind here. It's really getting pushed by the wind. I'll go behind this tree here. Yeah, so I'm expecting about the same amount of flight time because the way is pretty much the same. So if you're wondering about the flight time, I probably already mentioned it earlier in the video. Same battery and everything, the 553S. Yeah, really not noticing anything different here. It's still, you know, not that easy to fly in the wind, but you can see I have precise or pretty good precision and in terms of getting it to go where I want it to go. So overall, not bad. And if you want the 04 Pro, I think it looks like this is a winner now. Now, regarding the jello, my sample here seems to be totally fine, even in the wind and with aggressive flying, but it may not be the case for everyone. It seems like some people are just unlucky and are getting something wrong with their mount or their setup or something. Maybe they didn't install it right, or they got a bad install from the factory and they got jello. But it's not. I don't think that's going to be the case for everyone, at least for this one. On the 03, I didn't get any jello. The 04 Pro, no jello. But if you're using the 04 Lite on this setup here with the custom mount, which I don't think they have yet for the 04 Lite for the Pavo series, they might come on with later. But the 04 Lite is more prone to jello, so you might have jello issues. Something to keep in mind if you want to go with that route. You might want to go with a different model at that point. Also, bring close here if you guys want to hear what it sounds like. Some people say this is really loud, others will say not so loud, and people that say it's really loud probably have their speakers on 100%. Anyway, that's it for this video. Talk to you guys later.